All right, so obviously last night was game three of the NBA Finals. The Celtics won, as Nick Saya predicted on the last podcast. It wasn't a blowout like he said, but it was close enough to it, I would say. And they looked determined to get that win, and they did so. What do you guys have to say about that game?
I thought the Celtics played really well. Um, the Warriors could have played better.
They definitely could have. Outside of Steph and Clay, I would say.
Oh yeah, even Draymond too fouling out was kind of ruined their defensive scheme. I would say.
Yeah, and even he only had 2 points though. Like, come on now.
I'm not mad about that necessarily, but
No, it's just like he does all that talking and then just drops 2 points. Like what?
yeah,
I don't know. I'm kind of starting to get worried for the Warriors. I still think they're gonna win, but like the physicality is really bothering them. It seems.
it's kind of wild how like aggressive both teams are playing.
Yes, this goes back and forth though. Like one game one is, and then the next game the other.
Bro, I'm just happy Curry's not like hurt.
Yeah, I don't think that was a dirty play like people are saying, but like he avoided a serious injury for sure.
Like if he did get hurt though, I wouldn't blame Al Horford for it.
No.
He was just trying to play basketball.
Yeah, exactly. He was hustling after the ball.
Like even later in that possession, like Marcus Smart going for the ball, I feel like that was more
Yeah.
like I don't know.
You got anything you want to say about the game, Gio?
Yeah, so one, Steph played well. Uh Clay finally showed up. Only two guys to show up for the Warriors that night. Obviously we know that, the Garden is a lot different than anywhere else you're gonna play. Those fans are, I would say, horrific, right? In the sense that they will try to like attack you verbally. Um, no one else showed up for that game. Jordan Poole's got to show up. That's number one. Really, the big factor for me was the Celtics defense on the rest of the Warriors guys, except for Clay and stuff. Um, I feel like Dre got in his own head, right? Doing too many things, trying to, I feel like, get into the head of the Celtics players way too much instead of actually play the game of basketball. And the only thing I have to say about that is congratulations to the Celtics. Robert Williams, I feel like he was a large piece of why they won that game. I believe he had like 4 or 5 blocks. And
Yeah,
then,
he went off.
yeah. Oh, one more thing. That play, right? It's not a dirty play on Al Horford at all. It's not a dirty play on anybody's part. The only thing is, I would have to say the refs have to call a jump ball earlier, or someone like Steph Curry is going to get even more hurt, because it was a dog pile, and they have refs in that scenario so that the players do not get further injured. So that's just my perspective. Right when Al, went on top of Steph, they both grabbed the ball. Should have been called a jump ball before a dog pile happened, like there was. So
That's valid.
It's fair. Gotta shout out the boy Time Lord.
That boy did go off. He was a big factor defensively for them. But I think
But
the difference of the game though was the turnovers, especially in the fourth quarter. Like I think the Warriors had like 9 or 10 in the fourth alone.
bro, it was sloppy play. Um, I got it. My boy Wiggins, he put points up, but they were insignificant points, I would say.
right.
Yeah, and I think you're blaming Jordan Poole, but I also blame Steve Kerr. I don't think he's playing Poole enough for his confidence to be up there.
Well, I'm not blaming Jordan Poole for the game per se. I'm saying he needs to step up in previous games where he has stepped up, where we've
But
seen him step up in the Nuggets game,
I just feel like he was getting way more minutes in that series, and like his minutes have decreased throughout the entire playoffs.
and they have. Another thing, which the main contributor why they lost, I feel like you said, is Steve Kerr. He's got to play Kuminga. He's got to play Moody. For me, I feel like I was talking to someone, And we believe that Kuminga, why isn't he playing Kuminga? He's got great size. He's got great athleticism, right? And he can play defense and he's hungry. I feel like he would be great in the physical aspect of it against Robert Williams and all the bigs, especially against the Celtics. And then you can use him to wear them down because he would be a great piece for that aspect. And then you can bring in Draymond, you can bring in, Clay, Steph for the offensive aspect as well.
Yeah, I agree. I really don't know why he's gotten away from Kuminga and the rookies, other than it's just the finals and he's worried. But like, you don't have the size that the Celtics have. You got to
No.
use your athleticism that you have.
Right. Gary Payton and Kuminga are your two most athletic players on the team. So
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I still think the Warriors will win, and they'll bounce back tomorrow, I believe. But
for
like,
sure.
it's gonna be hard if they continue to play like this.
Yeah, like I said, I thought I had the Warriors in 6, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's fair. Good.
With the Warriors not playing their young guys too, like if you don't play them in the finals, when are they ever going to be ready for the finals?
Exactly. And they
So,
barely
like,
play. It's not like only the finals. They've barely played in the playoffs.
like how I don't understand that. You see John Morant doing what he's doing in the playoffs because he's getting the opportunity to play well, like to play.
Exactly.
People
Like I don't get I get why he's not playing Moody, but like Kaminga gave value to him in the regular season. He could do that in the playoffs.
honestly, I think that's done by Steve Kerr not doing that though.
I think so too, because he's going to guys like Damian Lee and JTA. But like, bro, those guys aren't going to do anything for you.
No. Wow.
You got anything to say, Gio?
Just that I do believe Moody would be beneficial to the team. He's got that 3-point shot along with the defense. So
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. He's barely gotten minutes all season though.
but to be devil's advocate, right, against you guys, I agree with you guys, but to be devil's advocate, in the thinking of Steve Kerr, right, he's thinking that to play his veterans that have been there, like an older Andre Iguodala, like Steph Curry, like Draymond Green, like Klay Thompson, and he's playing them 37, 40 minutes a game. When he's doing that, he believes that those guys can carry your team to a win, right? Because they've done it before. These young kids have never done it before, and they're a rookie. It's not like they've been here a couple years, so they're acclimated into this type of playoff scenario or the finals, right? It's a different scenario than a regular season game. So I just feel like that's where he's coming across from. And he just wants his veteran guys to get the win instead of having to roll the dice and have your young guns, try to get the win.
I mean, I get that, but like your veterans aren't always going to show up either, though.
Right, but I feel like he trusts more his veterans than the rookies.
It's fair.
That's like a reasonable mindset to have, but I feel like with the finals, you just gotta play the hot hand that night, or like at least give opportunity to see who can shine.
Right, exactly. If something's not working, you got to change it up, So
yeah,
and like you look at the Celtics bench too, like they're a big reason why they've won the 2 games that they have. And he throws like everyone in. You have to do the same thing, Kerr.
yep.
I just feel like his bench is way deeper and better. The Celtics benches.
Yeah, that's fair. But like Kerr doesn't utilize the guys he's had. Is just my point.
Oh, that's a fact. But I just feel like that Celtics bench is so deep.
For sure.
It's ridiculous.
That's
so
a big reason of why they made it this far.
Right.
Something you want to say?
My finals MVP. He had a day yesterday.
He did.
You know?
Couple big threes.
It's looking more and more like Nick says, by the way, you're right about that.
We'll see. But to switch topics, did want to talk about the Lakers assistant coaching hire and Rasheed Wallace. I think that's a good hire, a good fit for Darvin Ham's staff and the type of guys he does want on his staff, which is obviously physicality and knowing what it takes to win. And I think that's going to be a great fit for this Lakers team. And I think it's two guys who will hold the players accountable, which is needed at LA.
What do you think about what your coach said about that boy Russell Westbrook?
I think that shows that Russ is staying. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
But like, I feel like if anyone can make it work, it's him with the way that he handled himself at the press conference.
Fair. Gio, what you think?
I would have to agree. I feel like he's staying. I also have to say that I do agree with him. Russell Westbrook is one of the greatest of all time to ever do it, playing the point guard position. And that if you can make him work in your system, especially since I believe he was at the press conference there, right? He showed up.
Yep.
So for that dynamic to already have chemistry going forward, I feel like there's already a trust bond with those two. And I think it's just going to benefit in the Lakers' favor.
I feel like also his three out, two in system will fit Russ better as well. More spacing.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So if we do keep him, I just hope that he gets back to the Washington Russ, like you said in the last pod, Gio.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario. If not, he can go back to MVP. That would actually be better. When he was in 2016, MVP Russell Westbrook on the Thunder, but the Russell Westbrook on the Wizards would be the most realistic.
So. I agree.
I think that's like max potential Russ on this team though.
Yeah.
MVP Russ was just by himself. He could do everything.
Right.
But with this team, he's the third option if they're a fully healthy team. So the max production would be Washington, I think, if they could somehow find the perfect system to incorporate him to be that type.
Right. I agree. But I feel like these new coaches will also hold him accountable to where, like, if he's playing bad, they'll get in his face and tell him that he has to step up, and that'll just make him angrier.
I hope they'll put him on the bench too. Like, I hope the coaching staff's not scared to do that too.
Yeah, like if it's needed, we're gonna have to.
Just to like humble him a little bit too, make him like really think about the team first instead of just himself.
Right. I mean, Vogel did try that; it didn't go well, but like, I don't know. It's either we're gonna have to humble him or he's gonna have to show up.
Honestly.
So we'll see what happens. But what do you got to say, Gio?
Just thinking, if for one game they try to start him on the bench, right? Give him starter minutes, just like Derrick Rose on the Knicks, like 30, 35 minutes. I'm wondering what the productivity would be for Russ and the success of the team would be.
Yeah, I also feel like if Kendrick Nunn is healthy, that gives us a great backup for Russ if he's playing awful there, where we can just be like, Russ, get out.
At the same time, it's tough to say for Kendrick Nunn because he hasn't played basketball in about a year and a half. So
yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
He wasn't top 10,
Yeah, but like he was still a great role player, I would say.
Right, but we need to see how he is after his injury, after having this time off, because like I said, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, these types of players, they can roll in to a season not playing for a duration period of time and get acclimated quickly, whereas these role players might not be able to acclimate as quickly.
That's true. I think once he finds his role, though, he'll be good.
Oh, for sure. But I feel like it's going to be later than sooner, so.
It's fair.
Bugging. That boy still has his Heat culture in him. I think he coming back and he going to be dogging kids.
Can I ask you a question, though?
Yeah.
A Heat player, right? With what? What was it, like a bruised bone, something like that?
Yeah,
sit out a whole entire year?
That's just the LA life.
Nah, but would a Heat player do that though?
If they go to LA,
No, but if I'm being honest, I don't think it was a bone bruise. There's no way it was actually just a bone bruise.
Right. It has to be more significant than that. But I'm just saying, if it was a bone bruise, I don't think a Miami Heat player would sit. They would actually play through that maybe midway through the season if it comes back.
you're not wrong. But
I mean, to be on Gio's side, Anthony Davis sprained his ankle and sprained his MCL and came back both times.
Right, exactly. I'm just saying, best wishes to, Kendrick Nunn. It's just really like sitting out an entire year for a bone bruise. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
he was working on his craft.
Like I said, I think it was more than a bone bruise, but I still think he'll come back good. I think he'll be a good backup for Russ if Russ doesn't pan out the way we hope if we do end up keeping him.
For sure.
And if that doesn't work out, we always got Malik Monk if we keep him.
I'm cheering for the boy Kendrick Nunn, though. I'm cheering for him. Hopefully he can make the finals and lose to Miami.
No. Y'all got anything else you want to touch on or talk about?
Yeah. So what do you think about this going to the NFL, if you guys don't mind? What do you guys think of the LA Rams having all these extensions, high quality, highest paid, defensive end or whatever for Aaron Donald, right? And then Cooper Kupp getting paid highest player ever on the offensive side that is not a QB. So,
Well, number one, it shows me that they're really trying to run it back. And number two, I'm very confused on how they have all this money, if I'm being honest.
I'm very confused as well because you're paying all these star players max contracts. So,
What would you have to say, Saya?
Wait, he got paid. Cooper Kupp got paid more than Tyree.
yeah,
He's the highest paid. He's the sixth highest paid wide receiver and the highest paid non-QB ever.
I believe it's $110 million, but it's $75 to $80 million guaranteed.
Yeah, 75 million guaranteed.
3 years, 4 years.
Yeah, it's 75 mil guaranteed, which is the most ever for a non-QB player.
Right.
I think that's a good signing, though.
I mean, it definitely is because he had the season of his life. That it's well deserved.
And like moving forward, like even after the Matthew Stafford era, I feel like he's a receiver you gotta keep around because he could just make any quarterback better too with his route running. His his football IQ.
I mean, the dude had a single season receiving record, Super Bowl MVP. It was insane what the season he had. He was a triple crown. No one's done that in a single season ever except him.
Right.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if anyone deserved it, it was him. But I'm just confused on how they get all this money.
The money is crazy, bro.
Because they're still paying Matthew Stafford like $100 million plus too.
I think Aaron Donald's a good signing as well, though.
Yeah, because he was going to retire too. If he even said it, if they didn't sign him.
The best player on defense in the NFL. You gotta throw him whatever he wants, just keep him on the team.
Right.
Plus, you got Von Miller you got someone else they got too with him, Bobby Wagner now with him. Yeah,
that team's gonna be scary.
And then also, don't forget, Jalen Ramsey is hungry for getting smoked in the Super Bowl. So,
yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, they're definitely trying to run it back. That's what I'll say.
Thanks.
But like, it's just confusing on where all this cap space came from. Unless they like didn't have any money the past couple of years and now all built up.
Right.
Even like the revenue that the team makes, like there's not a ton of fans in LA, right? For the Rams.
I mean, their stadiums were packed.
Plus, they've had a huge following in LA for a long time. Although they did move to St. Louis, they were originally we know that they were originally from LA. So those fans probably stayed in LA as well. So
I feel like that 49ers game though in the playoffs, there was like majority Niners fans, it seemed like to me.
Yeah, there was, but like that's also because Niners fans just travel everywhere.
Yeah. And San Fran's not that far.
No.
right.
Like at the Cowboys San Fran game, it was like half San Fran, half Dallas.
That's crazy.
But like, I don't know. It's gonna be a scary sight to go against that Rams team again.
Oh, for sure.
But I also feel like Tom Brady's gonna be more hungry to go against them,
I would also agree.
especially with the way the Bucks have signed like all these new free agents to get him
Mhm.
help. It's gonna be fun to watch.
But can we talk about the Saints for a second and
Yeah, go
all
ahead.
and all of their receivers that they have now?
They got Michael Thomas, that Olave.
Yeah.
Who else?
Give me 1 second.
Who? Oh yeah, they got Jarvis.
Jarvis
Yeah.
Landry.
Jarvis, yeah, they signed Jarvis or traded for Jarvis Landry or signed him.
My favorite receiver.
And I count Kamara as a receiver to be honest, because he's half and half.
Right. So it's wild. Plus, who do they have at quarterback? James Winston still?
Jameis, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
he is
wild to
coming off
me.
a torn ACL though, so like we have to see how he recovers from that.
Facts.
Right.
Before
But
that,
like
he was tearing it up though.
exactly, like if he comes back the way he was playing, that's a scary team.
All right. Are you ready right now?
Yeah,
So not just the weapons, but the notable Saints additions, right? Tyrann Mateo from the Chiefs at safety. He was a great safety for the Chiefs.
Honey Badger.
Marcus May, right?
Okay.
He was from the Jets. He's also a safety, great safety. You probably didn't, haven't watched him, but on the
I
Jets,
heard.
he was making moves.
Yeah, I heard of him.
He played pretty well.
Yeah.
Right.
At least the 2 times we played him.
Now, defensive end, Taco Charlton from Pittsburgh,
That boy's a bust, if I'm being honest.
from the Steelers.
He's a bust, bro. Trust me.
I don't think he's a bust.
He's not
Now,
that good.
now, just think of this: as your backup quarterback, you have washed up Andy Dalton.
It's true. That's
You never
true.
know if he can make another one of those Bengals runs that he did in the past. Go ahead and start playing again. Jarvis Landry, like we said, Chris Olave, and Trevor Penning, from Northern Iowa, an offensive tackle to protect Jameis Winston. So I feel like they got a lot better as well.
Yeah, that's a scary team, scary additions. I mean, Andy almost led the Cowboys to a playoff berth, so like he
Right.
had to. So I mean, he's not a bad backup. He's not as bad
No.
as people make him out to be, I would say.
Exactly. Plus, the health questionability of Jameis Winston.
That's a good backup,
No.
yeah.
Right.
And if that doesn't work out, you still have Taysom Hill.
For sure.
But like I was just saying Taco's a bust because he was drafted in the first round by the Cowboys. Boy did nothing.
Oh, he in that respect he is, but at the same time, he is a solid player. Like he's not a first rounder, but he is a solid player though.
I would say he's a better backup defensive end than like a starter.
Right.
But it's still a solid addition, not awful. But they definitely got a scary roster building.
For sure.
And like the fact that they got Michael Thomas back now too just adds to who Jameis has.
Right.
And I feel like Jameis is going to be hungry.
Yeah. He was playing amazing before he got hurt. So
Exactly. Like if he didn't get hurt, I honestly will go out on a limb and say they were going to make the playoffs.
I think so too. Actually, I think they were definitely going to make the playoffs.
Like I believe they're like what they had like 5 wins when he got hurt.
right.
They were like 5-2, I think, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Exactly. Like
And they beat
they
the
were
Bucks or something.
yeah, they were against the Bucks that day he got hurt. And like he was leading them to a win and they still
Right.
won, but like barely.
Right.
And they beat the Bucks again, and because their defense obliterated Tom Brady.
Yeah. So
Michael Thomas will be a great comeback piece to that offense. but his name's not going to hold as much weight after next season.
Nah, bro,
No.
Jarvis Landry and Olave.
Jarvis Landry, he's going to make the Pro Bowl. He's going to finish top 5 in receptions, top 10 in receiving yards.
Bro, but on defensive side of the ball, I think Tyrann Mathieu was a great signing for them. Like that's just gonna up their defense so much more.
Right.
They already had a good defense too. So
Exactly. Like
adding Honey Badger,
imagine him and Lattimore locking up wide receivers.
like, bro,
That's nasty.
it's gonna be
As
So
long as
there
they're
are
it just depends on their quarterback for me. As long as they quarterback plays good, bro, the sky's the limit.
right.
honestly.
But what were you gonna say, Gio?
I was just gonna say, although everyone's leaning towards the AFC being overpowered, there are some teams that could honestly have a chance in the NFC. So
For sure. I mean, I would take the Packers out for obvious reasons, but like you can't ever count on Aaron Rodgers, even though he has no weapons.
right, yeah,
But like, still, they're gonna have to give him weapons.
All those NFC teams just to try to beat the Dolphins.
Cowboys, Dolphins, Super Bowl, put it in fruition.
It might happen. It will happen. Miami win.
Yeah, right. But no, bro, for real, the Saints, they're gonna be scary if all goes well with their
right.
roster. But what other news was there in the NFL? Trying to think.
What do you think of the acquisition of the Broncos?
Oh, the money, like someone buying the team.
Yeah, the here to Walmart. I forget his name.
It's the Walter Penner Group,
Right.
Walton Penner Group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't expect the Broncos to sell for that much money, if I'm being honest.
It's the highest ever by a franchise. So any
Right.
sports franchise.
But like, I feel like if the Cowboys got sold, it would be higher than that. But like, still, that's insane. I didn't expect it to that be that high.
I think the whole Russell Wilson trade kind of like jumped the value of the team, I feel like too.
That's true.
Oh, for sure.
That's true. I didn't think about that because now like they're actually like playoff contenders.
Right.
Yeah, I think that boosted it big time.
Well, like I also heard like they got in touch with Peyton Manning and he might be a part of ownership
For sure.
one day. So I mean, it's looking bright for the Broncos.
Honestly.
I don't know. It's already been a crazy offseason. It's just gonna be a crazy season now.
If all goes well and everyone stays healthy, yeah, for sure.
That's true.
My boy Melvin Ingram to the Dolphins. Y'all see that?
Oh, he did? He went to the Dolphins?
That linebacker Melvin Ingram, though, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That boy signed to Miami. Getting that defense more beefy.
That's a good signing, no cap though.
Honestly.
Like he's a good linebacker, and I feel like linebacker was one of your biggest weaknesses defensively.
Yep. We have Jerome Baker.
That's it. Because like
That
you let that other guy walk to the Chiefs. I forgot his name.
Raekwon McMillan.
Yeah.
He was a good young piece, but like I don't think he was gonna pan out too much.
And there was like a Alfonso kid you let go too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Ingram's gonna be the solution for you guys there though.
Thanks. Hopefully the offense can do its thing so we can make playoffs, but
Who was your guys' safety though?
Eric Rowe or Javon
Yeah.
Holland.
Holland's good, but I feel like you could upgrade a safety a little bit.
I wanted Tyrann Mathieu, but he went home.
Yeah, that's fair. But like, yeah, that's the only thing I could think of on defense. It's just gonna be if Tua shows up, to be honest.
Tua go dime up Tyreek and Jalen Waddle.
because like that boy, he has been throwing deep balls in OTAs.
I'm not gonna get hyped about that though. I'm not.
Yeah, the fact that he said, "Oh, that looked pretty good to me," like, bro, that's practice.
And for him to say that just shows that everyone's in his head.
Yeah, that's true. That's also not good.
Like before the season even starts, they're in his head already.
Yeah, I feel like that's Tua's biggest problem. He's in his own head,
Like, bro, just play your game, play football, like have
right?
fun.
Like, bro, we saw you throw deep balls at Alabama. Do it again.
Honestly,
I feel like Tyreek's gonna open up that for him though,
yeah.
because like Waddle's speedy, but no one's got Tyreek speed.
I want to see them race so bad,
Waddle and Cheetah.
so bad.
That'd be fun to see. No cap though.
I think they've raced already because like that's Tyreek's thing. He likes to race people,
Yeah.
but I don't think they ever came out with who won or if they actually ever did.
Hmm.
I'd love to see a video of that.
Yeah. But we'll switch back to the NBA real quick.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all see what David Griffin said about Zion Williamson's like contract?
Uh,
He said it's an easy decision. Like they're gonna give him the 5 years, 181 million after this year. But like I'm thinking about that. I'm like, boy didn't play for a year, and now say he comes back and he's not like he's okay, but like you can't always rely on him to be healthy. He's proven that. It's kind of like Anthony Davis. So I feel like 5 years, 181, that's kind of a lot for missing this season. But like I feel like you do have to see what he does next season first.
it's all based off next season for me.
I agree.
Because although even when he did play, he showed glimpses of what he could be. The injury just set that back entirely for me.
Yeah. And the fact that like he said he could have played, but he didn't, like
It's very worrisome for me on that aspect.
and I know he said that he wants to be in New Orleans, but like at the same time, it doesn't look like he wants to be in New Orleans.
No,
Like I feel like he said that because reporters were in his face. You have to say it.
he has to like.
So like I feel like it all depends on next season for me, like Saya said. But like it is true. He's historically good when he's on the court, like during his rookie season. But like you gotta wait and see if he can play a full 82 game season or close to it and put up the numbers that he was putting up rookie year before you hand out that money for that many years.
I want to see him play at least 65 or more games. At least that.
Yeah, like that's a lot to ask of like Anthony Davis because like he's older, but like this boy's like 20.
Yeah, he's so young still, and he can't play 65 games. Come on now.
I don't know. What do you got to say, Gio?
I really think that he said that just as like a motivational thing, especially since his last year on his contract's coming up. For him to say that, then it will give Zion fire to play even better so that he can get that max contract. But obviously, I feel like if he doesn't play to their expectations, right, and he plays subpar, obviously, I don't think they're going to give him the contract. Even though they might give him the contract, I believe that he will not take it.
You do? You think he's gonna leave?
I think he's going to leave. I think he's going to do what Shaq did. I feel like that would be the best move of his career is to get out of New Orleans. Just like Shaq said, might as well go to LA. So
I feel like that's why Anthony Davis got out of there too, because like it's not like the organization holds them back. It's just that they can't ever win consistently.
the winning consistently and creating a dynasty. It's look at the Bucks, right? For instance, it's so hard in a space or in an area that's not high value, like obviously the Knicks isn't one, but the Lakers, the Celtics, those guys, right, are able to create dynasties because they're well known, because they're in areas people want to go to. New Orleans isn't one, Milwaukee's not one, so it's Miami's one, right? Milwaukee's not one. New Orleans is not one. The Cavaliers are not one. So it's very hard to win one championship, let alone a couple. And I feel like Zion is thinking more about legacy than 1 year.
I agree. I think he wants to win, and I feel like that's also a part of the reason why he didn't play this season. Like, I don't. It's just like I said. It just doesn't seem like he wants to be in New Orleans.
Is Zion going to be a restricted free agent if he doesn't sign a full contract this year?
I don't think so. No.
I don't know.
No, he'll be unrestricted, I think.
Yeah, because like it's just his rookie contract.
Right.
Still.
Okay. Because I was thinking like someone's going to pay him a max contract somehow.
I think someone will, even if he like just leaves.
The thing is, when he hits that open market, so many teams are going to throw him max contracts
Yeah.
just because of his potential. Like, no matter how he plays next season.
Yeah. It's gonna be bad for whoever does.
Honestly,
But did y'all see the news about Deandre Ayton?
not matter.
How it seems like he's not returning to Phoenix, and then Greg Popovich came out and said uh, that he would love to coach DeAndre Ayton, and he hopes that San Antonio makes a big push for them in the offseason. So I don't know. I don't know how like realistic it is, but I saw on Instagram, and it seems that Ayton's not happy at Phoenix.
DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Ayton. I like that. I like that point guard center duo.
Because like if you think about it, the Spurs' biggest weakness, Pirtle is good, but like he's not Ayton. Their biggest weakness is center and power forward. But like you can put Pirtle at power forward, Ayton at center.
That would be a mean lineup too. My boy Jakob would thrive.
Exactly, because he's like a stretch forward too.
Yes, sir.
So like I don't know. I didn't expect Ayton to stay with Phoenix, so this doesn't shock me. But like I didn't expect him to go to the Spurs if that happens.
He might come to Miami though.
There's a lot. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of teams chasing after him if he does indeed say, "Nah, I'm not staying in Phoenix."
I also don't want him in Miami though.
Yeah, you got Bam.
Yes, sir. Bam's out the bio.
But what do you gotta say, Gio?
One, San Antonio is not a market spot, right, for big time players like Ayton. So that's why we're thinking that he might not go there. If he does end up going there, it would be great for him, great development. To see Popovich coach him, right? Especially with all the bigs he's coached in the past, like Robinson and Timmy Duncan, right?
Sorry about that. You know, cliffhanger. Gio had to leave us on another cliffhanger. What were you saying, Gio? You were saying about how you know the Spurs would be great for Ayton.
Right. DeAndre Ayton, right? I feel like, would be great for them. At the same time, it would be remarkable if the Spurs would actually be relevant again, just because of how competitive the West will be next year. There's going to be the top four teams like there always is. And then those middle four teams, right, from 4 to 8, are going to be so competitive and so tight like they are. And then those bottom four teams, right, competing for that play-in spot are going to be also very competitive. And there's just too many teams that I feel like that are overpower the Spurs right now with depth and star power. So we'll see what happens.
I agree. I mean, as a Lakers fan, I kind of enjoy the Spurs not being good personally, but that's just me. But it would be cool to see them, back in the playoffs. Has been I can even remember the last time they were in the playoffs. It's been a while, and I think it was like 20-something, like at least 4 years ago, I would say.
I believe they were in the play-in spot 2 years ago. They lost.
Yeah, that's right. But
and then they were in the play-in spot in the bubble, I believe. Or no, they didn't. They
were in the play-in spot this
bounced
year
because it was a tied record.
This past year they were in the play-in spot and they lost.
Right. And 2 years ago in the bubble, it was a tied record and the other team went in. So
right. So it's been a while since we've seen them in the playoffs. So it'd be cool to see them back. But you also said that like the Spurs aren't a big marketplace, which is true like for big stars, but I feel like Aiton would be the one to go there because I feel like he, like you said, would benefit the most from being under Popovich.
Right, for sure.
And you look at the center's history, like you said, and like as a center, that's kind of hard to pass up.
It's hard to pass up, man, because you can be part of that lineage as well. Maybe you can win a championship with Pop, redo a dynasty like Robinson handed it down to Duncan, and then possibly if Duncan can come in as a consultant again for the Spurs and help out Ayton, you never know what could happen.
Exactly. Like Duncan's still on the staff. So it's
Right,
like you get 2-in-1, Pop and Duncan, teaching you
right,
how to be a great center.
exactly.
That's just the question is will the Spurs have enough money to give him that he wants, which is 5 years, 200 million.
Right. And is he worth that? Can you get a
Exactly.
championship out of him? So
Exactly. There are multiple teams that are going to go after him too. So it's going to be if he does leave the Suns. So it's going to be fun to see what happens.
for sure.
I feel like honestly, if the Suns know that he's not coming back, they should sign and trade him to get something back for him.
Right, right.
I agree entirely. A team I would love to see Aiden on, only because I really like the duo, is OKC. I would love to see how Shea could play with DeAndre Ayton and see how that would work. And OKC has the money to sign him. I feel like that would be really cool to watch my boy Shea and Ayton go to work.
That would be cool. But
It would be a great duo. Also, don't forget about Josh Giddey, man. He's very underrated, and I feel like I've started to love the kid just because of how great his IQ is.
he has great IQ.
And there's another kid you're sleeping on.
I know your boy.
One of my favorite players in the league right now, my boy Louis Dort.
Yes, sir.
That boy's a bucket, and he's a great defensive player.
Exactly. He's a
But
great
like,
kid.
I just don't know if Aiton would want to go to OKC because he wants to win, and I don't know if
Right.
that's a best possibility to go to win.
I don't think it's very realistic, but especially since he would probably get sat about 2/3 through the season.
Right.
It's like every other OKC starter.
Right.
Right.
But I think it would be sick. I think they would have potential to make a plan.
I could see a plan for sure if that did happen. But I honestly do see Aiton going to a mid-tier team though, because of the fact that those have more money to give him.
For sure.
I wouldn't say low tier because he wants to win, but like mid-tier, I think is his best bet.
I would love to see, like you said, sign and trade with Atlanta.
That's true. Like if you could get the Suns could get Capella back, maybe.
Capella or even Collins. I'd try to get rid of Collins, keep Capella.
But like I feel like Collins would be a better fit with Aiton if that on Atlanta.
Okay. I was going to say put Ayton at the 4.
Okay.
And you can have double bigs down there like that. Because I don't
Yeah.
think Collins and Capella could work together anymore. So
No, I don't think so either. One of them has to go.
right.
What do you gotta say, Saya?
Is there any chance DeAndre Ayton could go to Utah in the sign and trade?
That could happen.
I think it could because Rudy has 5 years, 200 million.
Right.
And if that's what the Suns give Aiton, it matches out perfectly.
Right, exactly. And I would love to see that just because, I would love to see Rudy Gobert play well again and possibly, like I said, play better offensively because he has a maestro like Chris Paul. So,
And yeah, I was about to say if CP3 doesn't retire, playing with him would just make him that much better.
right. I don't believe he's going to retire just because he wants that chip, but everything else.
Yeah, I agree. I think he would have retired by now if he was going to.
For sure.
I think also if the Jazz did that, that would get Donovan Mitchell right back into committed to them.
Exactly, because then you get DeAndre Ayton, who's a great offensive threat, but also defensively as well. So,
right. What were you gonna say, Sam?
With that too, I feel like you could throw if Donovan tries to say that he's not winning in Utah, you could throw the argument that DeAndre Ayton now has championship basketball experience, which is another I'm lacking of the words, but it's another reason for Donovan Mitchell to stay because
Mhm.
he's got that experience. He's seen what it took to get there.
Right.
So it's like another selling point to Donovan
Mhm.
Mitchell.
For sure.
I agree.
Every time what killed, Utah in the playoffs is that the offensive, output out of everyone except for Donovan Mitchell wasn't there. Now you can have the output of, Ayton to relieve some of that stress from Donnie, and then hopefully, you guys can go farther into the playoffs and possibly go to the finals.
Exactly.
I believe the number one thing that's going to keep Mitchell or lose him is the coach, though. That's just me, though.
I feel like if they sign Atkinson or if they sign Terry Stotts, I feel
There's
like they'd
only
be well off.
Yeah, I don't believe in Atkinson, but I think Stotts is their best bet. And they're going to interview him, and they're going to interview a couple of other assistants, like the Hornets assistant and another Bucks assistant.
Right.
And those are the only three they're interviewing right now. But I think Stotts is their best bet.
I believe there was also a Celtics assistant as well, possibly.
Yeah, I think so. But personally, I think Stotts is their best bet. Atkinson just didn't do enough for me when he did have the chance coaching wise.
I just believe that he did coach well, especially with D'Lo. I just don't think it was a good fit with him and Kyrie because Kyrie doesn't want to listen to anybody. But I feel like they're just putting too much on him because he did get fired in that situation.
That's fair. I mean, I think he's doing good with the Warriors as an assistant, though. And
For sure.
I don't even know if he wants to go back into coaching, to be honest.
Now, if you're gonna win championships as an assistant, might as well just stay there. So,
Exactly. So I think, like you said, Terry Stotts is our best bet, and I think
sure.
that D. Mitch would sign off on that and give it a shot.
Right.
But if it's anyone else, I don't think D. Mitch is going to stay.
No.
Like if it's a first year coach, you're not going to stick that out,
No.
especially with the potential that Donovan Mitchell has. Like you could easily get traded to a contender right away.
Right, for sure.
So I don't know. That's just me.
Facts.
Gio, you got a segment you want to do?
Yeah, so for my segment, right, I wanted to congratulate Rafael Nadal on his 22nd Grand Slam title, 14 alone at the French Open, which is the most ever by a singles player. Just wanted to say congratulations. He won that, last Sunday, and hopefully he's healthy enough to play at the Wimbledon coming up. So
For video games, there's actually new Call of Duty out, Modern Warfare. It's pre-order available now, not actually available till November 28th, I believe. But yeah, that's the only new game out, and we'll see how it is because the last one was not that good. We'll see if they did better this time.
Facts. For music, I'm gonna shout out Ian Dior. He dropped a new song yesterday. I thought it was pretty quality, yeah. So,
We'll catch you all in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Peace.
yep. Thank you for watching. Y'all could drop a like. Y'all could drop a comment if you want. And if you're really feeling it, you could Geo.
hey, make sure you guys subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.